What are the things that I would most like to see added to Star Citizen? What are my must-haves, my would-be nices, and my if dreams came true? What are big on my list? For must-haves, the thing that I would most like to see added to Star Citizen is loadouts. Character loadouts. So as we adventure through the universe, as we pick up weapons, doing bunkers, doing missions, guns, armors, things like that, that we can build a loadout for our character. And that we can say, here is a loadout if I want to go out and, be a sniper. Here's a loadout if I want to go out and, mine in a very hazardous, hot environment. I wouldn't want to, but if someone would. Here's a loadout if I want to play as a medic and I want to carry a lot of medical equipment. I like the fact that Star Citizen doesn't make you choose a quote-unquote class or anything like that. It's a great thing. It's entirely great that portion of the game is, once again, entirely kind of a sandbox type thing. You can do what you want and go where you want. But what I would like to see is the ability to preset and save loadouts so that when I'm in an area like Area 18, a landing zone that pretty much has a little bit of everything that you need, with certain exceptions, that I can go in and say, I want to do this, and this is my goal, and I can kind of hit a button, and my character might go through a dressing or undressing animation, or there can just be a little progress bar as it's putting on all the armor, so I still have to go through the whole rigmarole. But I would love to have pre-saved loadouts for the character at least. Ships in the future would be excellent if I want to kind of say, okay, I want to focus on mainly distortion weapons. Oh, I want an all-energy weapon out, kind of load out because I'm going to be out there for a long time. I don't know where I'm going to get ammo from. Or maybe I just want to get in there with the projectiles. And so being able to do that, and then once again, of course, go through the whole motion of, okay, we are now adding this equipment to your ship. And, in the future, if we want, we can make like little animated arms come down in the landing zone and add and remove certain items depending on what we have in storage. That would be cool. But loadouts. Start with the characters, expand it to the ships. I would love to see that. That is my must-have. Would be nice. It would really, really, really be nice if we could bookmark certain locations on the surfaces of planets. And I'm not talking about, oh, you have a mission and it's here. But, going to a site on a planet, being able to save that location and say, this is how I get back to here. Without having to go through the whole, okay, to get here, you have to go exactly this far between this point, and this point, and that puts you right here, and then you can fly right down, and that's that same spot on the ground. I would love for us to be able to set bookmarks and even share bookmarks with our friends. So that way, let's say we're all going out and we're doing a group mission together on the surface of a planet, a place that we've been before. We're raiding a common location or a location that we visit quite commonly. Being able to pick a good landing site nearby, some place to stash a ship, being able to say to someone who's going to be your navigator or your pilot on this mission or whatnot, and to be able to say, here, boop, share a bookmark with you, land here. And then they can go, oh, okay. It doesn't need to be a location that, that they can quantum to. It doesn't need to be that great. But to be able to share that with another player, just so they can fly down, not make it too easy, but just so they can fly down and go to the point that you designate. I think in terms of teamwork, in terms of squad gameplay and stuff like that, that's critical. That's something that we definitely do need. It's where, whatever, the commander, squad leader, whatever you want to say, can point on a map, or pull up a bookmark that they've already saved, and then just say, go here, do this thing. And even beyond that, like when you have a group and let's say there are multiple ships in the group, you might want to say, you start from here, you start from there, I'll start from here, and we'll pincer them. And being able to set those locations and say, start from these locations, that would be amazing. First of all, planets first, and then obviously 3D mapping and setting locations would require a somewhat, because it is three-dimensional, would require something akin to move or look commands or, attack commands relative to, I guess the best example that I can think of off the top of my head would be the sensor manager kind of controlling the battles in Homeworld, where you can kind of hit the shift button and it goes up and down, and then you can just kind of place it anywhere on that three-dimensional plane and say, move, heavy cruiser here, move this there. I would love to see some form of that sensor manager imported into Star Citizen. One of the best things that a game developer can do is take someone else's idea that sort of works or that's sort of good and then improve upon it. Some people, oh, you're stealing this from this game. Oh, you're stealing that from that game. Yeah, but if they make it better, at that point, I think they kind of take a little bit of ownership of it. And so I wouldn't rag on it too hard if they brought something like that. So maps, map coordinates, saving locations, sharing locations, and being able to send people to locations, or at least tell them where they're supposed to go, would be a really nice thing to have. Now, if dreams come true, if dreams could come true, if we could make anything happen in Star Citizen, if I could make anything happen in Star Citizen, one of the most intriguing things that I'm looking forward to is the idea of area denial. The idea of there's a bunker on the surface of this planet that maybe you want to go to, but the air defenses are too thick. Or maybe there's a low-lying storm over the area that prevents you from landing your ship. You need to get troops in there for whatever reason, to raid the bunker, to save the bunker, to put out the fire, to start a fire, whatever. I would love, even though this is something that has very rarely been touched on, and mostly jokingly, and it's kind of close to the ejection seat problem. It's like, why do you put ejection seats on fighters if you're flying around in atmosphere? What's the point of ejecting? Because you don't have a parachute. I would love for us to have the ability, when we're flying through an atmosphere, to level our ship out, open up the rear door, and to be able to drop infantry from high altitude and allow them to infiltrate into a base or into a location, maybe shut down those air defenses or go in and take the location and control it until such a time as that weather passes, and then you can fly in and rescue them or just pick them up after they've completed their mission. I would love to have that in Star Citizen, the ability not just to fly directly to a location, but to open up that rear door and drop troops and have them be able to parachute, pick a location as they're flying down, and then work their way into that complex or into that base or whatever you have to do for that mission. I think that is something that it surprises me that it's really not received much of a mention from CIG, and I think that is a terrible oversight. So I know that that's not critical to making anything work, but if I were kind of pulling the strings, if I were working the levers of power there, that would definitely be on my list. The ability to parachute troops into a location. I think that would be awesome. So as we wait for 318, and I'm sitting here with one or two video ideas just raring to go, but waiting for that patch to drop so we can kind of get into it. Those are three things. One that I really think we need to have in Star Citizen, especially with the inventory system being as ho-hum as it is, to be generous. definitely setting map locations and being able to share objectives that you can set dynamically that aren't set by the mission, but you can say, I want you to go take this ridge, I want you to go sit up here with a sniper rifle and overwatch us, or I want you to move your ship in from that location, something like that. That is something that I think we also need, and I would love to have parachutes in Star Citizen. Anyways, that's it for this week. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hopefully soon I'll be playing 318 so I can stop engineering my my Corvette and take a little break from that. Yeah, hopefully 318 very, very soon. Anyways, thanks for watching.
Thank you for watching. So if you want to keep up with the latest and greatest in Star Citizen and Squadron 42's development, please follow us on our social media channels. See you soon.